Hello and welcome to the first volume of Blues TV, a living history of Macclesfield Rugby Club. For the first volume, 8 long-time club members, whose time at the club spans the 1950s to the present day, were asked to remember the grounds and clubhouses they played at.
We played the rugby for the fun of it, and there weren't many, we weren't in cups or leagues, or there were no leagues in those days at all.
The camaraderie, the joking and so on, what was the main aspect of it?
So I went to Macclesfield first, and I took to them. They took to me, I took to them. I was unfit, but I managed to score a try, and everything went fine. And so I didn't need to look anywhere else. I was quite happy with Macclesfield. That's why I stayed.
This history is built on the memories of the people who were there, and so is more personal than the more traditional chronological histories of games played and won. In particular, the club's last temporary home on London Road, and its first ever permanent and purpose-built club and ground at Tytherington.
When I first went, the club was at London Road, which looked like an old army Nissen hut with very primitive facilities.
Clubhouse was an old Nissen hut, but we did have a nice plunge bath in it and a few showers, and the bar was big enough, and the changing room was okay.
The pitch wasn't of the quality that they've got today, nor did it receive the maintenance. Maintenance was done, by the players.
And it had one pitch, and everybody really knew everybody.
There's a great club atmosphere, and that's really pulled me to the club.
The first reduction when I left school, I went to Mac Rugby Club to play rugby in 1960, and I played first team, and then we moved from London Road to Tytherington.
When the club moved to Tytherington, there were quite a few social events, particularly things like discos and whatever, and dinners.
Players used to stay after the match and drink, and they used to have dances, hog roasts, hoedowns, jazz nights, umpire bands.
Well, they were always very good, but they were always a bit boozed up, I think, so, you used to climb on tables at the annual dinners and things like that and sing songs.
I had too much to drink at the rugby club dinner in October, and the referee's correspondent was there, and he invited me to join the referee society, which I joined after Christmas, so that was 1978.
The annual dinners were just such a great occasion, and you'd always got somebody interesting to speak. And in later life, I've spent a lot of time speaking at annual dinners.
In the 1950s and 60s, the rugby club was a significant part of players', wives' and girlfriends' social life. Many of the social events provided a significant source of income for the club, as well as being the first meeting of many future married couples.
And of course the ladies used to join us for these events.
They're really good fun, you met a lot of people. Yeah, and I would think at those dances most of the players met their wives.
And my friend, Tim Bennett, actually met his wife on the rugby field that day. I remember his saying to me, "I've just seen that woman down there and she's gorgeous." Now, Tim couldn't see very well. So I said, "Which one's that, Tim?" He said, "The one in red." I said, "Well, there's at least 15. I said, "Well, I hope you meet a second half." And he did, and they married.
My girlfriend, wife-to-be, her crowd were all at Macclesfield. So that got us all together, because in those days, club life was virtually all your social life.
Yeah, and we used to have nights where players used to organise a show.
It ran for 3 nights, and it was performed in the King's School on the stage there.
And you'd be surprised how much talent there is in a rugby club. Comedians, singers, musicians, all sorts.
We had a great deal of fun putting it on. It was those were good days.
Before formal competitive rugby became the norm through league and cup competitions, the games provided many notable memories of a less than rugby nature.
A fellow called Selwyn Jones, who was a teacher at King's School, was there, and we got in the bar, and he got absolutely, what's the name? Anyway, halfway through the game, we couldn't find Selwyn, and we went down to the toilets, and he was sat on a seat in the in the toilet, and somebody put a pint pot underneath. Everybody that walked past was throwing money on it.
One person who's always stuck in my mind was a guy called Paul Delight, and Paul was the local curate at Christ Church, and it was really amazing when we were playing the game and he'd done something wrong to watch his trying to avoid expletives. Shall we put it that way?
My first match for the club was in the 59-60 season, and somebody's just pulled out the editorial from the paper on it. Afterwards, we did a pub crawl because the coach wasn't going back till midnight. But every pub we got into, they were a bit dubious because Gloucester had also come up. We were also playing in the town. So we were all going round, we were going round saying we're Gloucester and vice versa, which created quite a bit of fun.
I remember playing over at Widnes against their veterans team. They murdered us. They're a proper veterans team, all ex-first teamers sort of thing. The skipper came to me at half-time, so let's try and make a game of this. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll switch completely, we'll put our forwards in the backs and our backs in the forwards. I said, fine, that's great. They scored 7 tries in the second half. So from there on I said, no, veterans is for me. And I started Macclesfield Veterans then. Everybody wanted to play for the vets. Even the guys who were 27, 28, first team.
A lot of my memories, to do with those, playing with a third team that was known as the Tankards, which was real good fun. And then later on playing with a team called the Stags.
We were all about the same age coming, and we wanted to form a side of our own, which the club frowned on, but I was chairman of the club, so a bit of sway. I took a lot of stick. And so those Stags, there were about 20 of us, and we played from 88 to 93 as a group, and then age caught up with us. But we still stay together, and we meet on a Saturday afternoon, still the same people, and every year we have a party, and wives and everything. So that's been going on for 20, 25 years, and so it's really worth doing.
Even though Macclesfield was very much a social rugby club, it did have many talented players. Some went on to county and international honours.
The biggest one was with Cheshire, when we beat Lancashire in the championship, which was just unbelievable. The shirt from that game is up in the clubhouse in Macclesfield, and it's quite unique because in that match there were 4 England captains, later to be England captains: Steve Smith, Bill Beaumont, Frank Otten and Tony Neary. 4 of them playing for Lancashire and 1 of them, Steve Smith, playing for Cheshire, of course.
I enjoyed playing originally with the first team with Pete Holland and we had 2 good halfbacks, Pete Holland and Bill Mitchell.
And in fact, we had Steve Smith, who was the England scrum half and captain. He came to Mac, but he couldn't move Peter out because Pete was he was superb. Peter is probably the best player I've played with. One of the best players that Mac have, produced. He played scrum half, very, very good sportsman, very good squash player. He had one of these bodies that was square and little legs, and you just couldn't hit him off the ball, very, very strong. And he was the first player from a junior club, as opposed to the senior clubs as they were in those days. He was the first junior player to play for Cheshire, and they were thinking of playing him for England.
In common with today, the rugby club rarely stood still and made significant advances both on and off the field through the years remembered by our old-timers. Finally, we would like to acknowledge all the work and effort provided by Fallaphoom Academy pupils and staff. And most of all, thank you to the following members who gave so generously of their memories of Macclesfield Rugby Club. Until the next time.